Do you suffer from unexplained health issues? Maybe your doctors haven't figured it out? Have you been grinding it out the best you could for years, but you feel like you're losing or feel like giving up? Have you tried counseling, medication, pretty much everything you could think of just to feel a little bit better? And now you feel like you're out of options and you don't know where to turn? Do you or your child suffer from something doctors haven't cured, or they've given up on you because they don't know what to do? Have you been to multiple doctors, had the saliva, blood, or prick tests, and specialists haven't even been able to help you? Do you have to get allergy shots that aren't working? Do you take daily medication? Did something happen that changed the direction of your health in your life? Maybe you have a mystery illness, some sort of unexplained allergy or sensitivity, some sort of a traumatic event happened in your life, maybe a betrayal, a loss, or infidelity. Maybe your partner cheated and you can't get past it. Did you suffer childhood abuse or trauma? Maybe you had a narcissistic parent growing up or a spouse that treated you poorly. Maybe you had what I call a lightning strike moment. Have you heard this in your life? Basically, nobody understands you and thinks you're crazy. No matter what your issue is, you feel like you're out of time. This is for self-sufficient professionals whose runway of sanity and well-being is running out, but you aren't ready to give up. Does any of this sound like you? If so, we might be able to help. We're looking for a few select people whose unexplained health issues are making their lives miserable. You know something's out there that will help you. You're still able to function and work 80% of the time, but when your symptoms start, it's all you can do but go home and go to bed. We'll get to the root of your issue. We'll find the answers and change things ASAP, so you, your spouse, and your kids can finally live the life you were meant to live, before it's too late. Hi, I'm Jason Laird. I'm the founder of Lightning to Life. I help professional men and women recover from unexplained health issues that are caused by unresolved life trauma, especially when nothing else you've tried has worked or doctors have given up on you. I know the hell you're in because I've been there. I got out and I can help you get out too. I've spent 20 years helping thousands and thousands of patients fix their problems in their life that nobody has ever been able to help them with. I have 20 years of clinically proven results, use brain-based techniques, which we'll talk about later, and I use a specialized no-needle testing and treatment protocol. I have 2 master's degrees. I've been interviewed on TV hundreds of times. I went to the Marine Corps Officer Candidate School in hopes of flying jets for the Marines. When I was younger, I was a photographer for celebrities, race car drivers, and professional athletes. Here's me with Jason Priestley. This is my artwork, John Elway, Terrell Davis. The Robb Report interviewed me for a piece that I did of Craig T. Nelson. Dale Earnhardt. Here's Bruce Jenner and I. Here's Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, Dan Kennedy. This is my most proud day, the day I was baptized. I'm a daddy. I'm a family man, I'm a husband, I have an amazing wife, great children. I invented a pain spray for my mom that we sell all over the world. It's used for humans and animals. I was asked by the royal family in the UAE and Dubai to come over because it had a tumor and they wanted to see if my product would help it. It helps with all kinds of problems for horses and animals and people. I have tons of testimonials on YouTube. But most importantly, here's how I can help you. Here's one of the TV interviews I did.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Jason Laird with Rising Lotus, always bringing in some books, some gadgets, some gear. Always a fantastic show. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm wonderful, Billy. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm loving the purple. I almost wore it today, but I went a little flowery because, summer's here, nice weather. Not this weekend, but you know what? We enjoyed it while we could, right?
Exactly. Well, I wanted to match your background, too. So,
it looks great. And now we're talking about, chronic illnesses and symptoms that doctors have a tough time kind of foreseeing, right?
Yeah, I on the way here, I actually was just praying about what the right words to say were, because this is such a big problem that it affects 50 million people minimum in the United States. And so about 11 years ago, I had treated a lady. She'd been sick for 4 years. She'd been to every doctor. She'd gone every test down. They gave her everything, poked and prodded. Even went to the big clinic down in Phoenix, and nothing. And so she came in, and somebody had recommended me, and I said, let's just see if we can find the underlying cause, because the symptoms were so many. Turns out she had some sort of sensitivity to crude oil. Well, she'd never been in crude oil, so literally transformed her life with the protocol that I use, and that's 11 years ago now. A lady came in last week, just same deal, almost a similar progression. The doctors couldn't figure it out. She'd been to everything. She was over the course of 4 years, 5 years, her life just went downhill. Tired, low sex drive. She was using all of her work days to stay home and sleep. So she was, she was only 49 years old. And so we figured out that she had a bacteria that was about 2,300 points out of balance. So it's really a severe problem. And she just graduated from my program yesterday, and she said, Jason, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to celebrate my 50th birthday with a nice party. And, it's just close to my heart because, a few years ago, my family lost everything, and we, and it wasn't an illness, but it was a prolonged kind of climb out of that. And really, what I'm about now is I really want to save people from something that can be preventable, but maybe not be detected by the the hardworking doctors, because they have drugs and surgery, and a lot of times those don't work. So when they recommend them to me now, we can really a lot of times find out what the underlying cause is and give people their life back. And so it's really a special thing for me to be able to help a lot of people. And it's just, I've just watched so many people, their lives just go downhill, and we can help them.
And how do you do that? I know you have some gadgets that you bring in, some stuff. What kind of tactics do you use to help people save their lives?
So we look at what their doctors, the labs, and all that have done, and see if we can sort of find something that maybe they didn't see. I brought in my computer a few times, and we really go deep. We dive deep on what's going on with them, and we find out what maybe the one or two core systems in their body that are out of balance, and maybe there's something like an old root canal or a surgery or something. Maybe we're inundated by poisons, by food toxins, by things in our water, by air. And a lot of times people don't know, and they have symptoms that are minor and then progress over time. And by the time really where I specialize is people who have already been through the system, and I'm pretty much their last hope. And if I can't help them, I'll let them know. But I'm offering for the next 48 hours, my team and I set aside some time to help people with this and to really get to the bottom root cause of maybe what's happening with them. And then if I can help them, I will offer them the program we offer. But if I can't, I'll really definitely try to help somebody point them into the right direction. But we just have so many different tools that Western medicine has, and so if people are just sort of starting that journey, they're probably not right for my program. But people who are sort of on the last legs, or maybe their husbands or their doctors and their husbands and their coworkers just throwing up their hands, we can help them.
Great. Well, it's amazing what you do, and we'll post all your information on our Facebook page, of course, so people can get in contact with you if they're going through those certain issues. Jason, it's always a pleasure having you. Thanks for bringing everything in, and we'll have you on in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
We'll be right back.
If you've tried everything and nothing has worked and you want to see if I can help you, fill out the application on the bottom of the page to see if you'd be a good fit.
I want to share a story with you that happened, a couple of weeks ago between me and a complete stranger. Chances are you probably are a stranger currently to Jason, and I thought it was an interesting experience because what it showed me is that I can sort of explain sometimes a little bit better about him than he can about himself. And so I wanted to sort of relay this story, and I think it's definitely going to be relevant to what you might be feeling. So what happened was I was traveling, and I was in an airport. I was traveling by myself, and I was just waiting for my layover, went to a little wine bar, and I was in there by myself, of course, and another lady was in there. She and I kind of made eye contact a few times, and eventually we just started talking across the tables, and she came over and sat by me, and we just started talking about life. And it was one of those moments where total strangers just came together and had a connection and were able to just open up and share about themselves and share about their families and their lives. And it was just like we had known each other forever. I'm trying to give her sort of the condensed version, kind of explaining to her about some of his past clients, essentially. And she said something that it took me a second to answer, because the question that she asked me was, what is his why? Like, what is it that gets him up in the morning and keeps him going when things get hard? And it took me a second, because I think there's so many different things that do that for him, or that are that for him. But what sort of immediately came to my mind is that he has a gift that nobody else I know has. He, of course, I have been on the receiving end of this gift quite a lot of times, And as his wife, sometimes that's not always easy to hear. Sometimes it's been a little bit of a challenge, quite honestly, to hear from him the things that he has just been gifted with in terms of really being able to get to the root and the actual thing that's going on. For example, he and I had a discussion. This is quite a couple of years ago. He and I had a discussion, and it was a heated discussion, and I thought it was one thing that was upsetting me, and that I was angry about this other, this certain thing. And he knew. It was like he looked right into me, and he knew that that was not what was actually happening. It was something that had happened to me decades ago. And of course, when you hear that and you still have your walls up, of course you might be a little resistant to that. But the truth is that he absolutely has that gift. He has the ability to take a problem and peel it back, so to speak. I often describe it as like peeling away the layers of the onion to get to the actual like center where the truth and the real issue is. And that's what he does. And that's a really hard thing to explain to people, I think, because it's not just, oh, I'm a scientist, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a taxi driver, or, whatever it is. I mean, that's a difficult thing to explain to people, but I am here to tell you that Jason has a gift that I can't even begin to explain how impactful it has been to people. Patient after patient and client after client in his career that spanned a very long time. He's had a very, very broad range of experience in his career. But his true gift and his true, the power that he has within him that is absolutely God-given is to get to the truth of what is really going on, what happened. Maybe it's something you're not even aware of, like it was for me. Maybe it's something that you think it's this one thing, and it turns out to be this complete other thing that nobody has ever been able to actually get to before. And I thought it was just super relevant because this conversation happened between a complete stranger and me. And it just sort of opened my eyes to the fact that, there are people out there who obviously don't know Jason, don't know about his, the way that he works and, all the things that you might be having questions about. But if you have the ability to open yourself up, to be willing to hear another opinion, to see what else it might be, because of the things that you've tried and the all the different things that you may have gone through in order to have brought you to this place, as far as watching this video and contemplating working with Jason. All of those things are important and have maybe been helpful along the way, but you and I both know that this is not, if those were the things that were going to help you undo the issues or undo the struggles that you've been having, they would have worked already. So I think it's an interesting experience, also being sort of on the outside, because knowing the impact that he's had on his clients over the last 20 years, it would take hours and hours and days of testimonials and videos and sharing emails that he's gotten, and sharing all the different feedback and honestly life-changing feedback from people. It's been incredible. It's been incredible to watch him. It's been incredible to see how he has taken all of his life experience, all of his education experience, all of his career experience, and bring all of those together in addition to this gift that God totally has given him. There's no other explanation for it. And bring those all together and create something that has an impact that you can't even begin to imagine right now. So I just really want to encourage you to continue to watch this video, to reach out if you have questions, get on the phone with him. It's absolutely something that could change your life, and I cannot encourage you enough to do that.
I'd like you to meet one of my favorite patients. Her name's Karen. Okay, so how long have we known each other?
We met 10 years ago, and I was recommended to come and see you. I'd been to several doctors, done the shots, was sensitive to the shots. Shots were too strong. And after meeting you, we started doing treatments, and it changed my life.
Tell me what your life was like before you came to see me.
I felt horrible. I just didn't feel good. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good. I just had no energy.
And how long were you suffering like that?
Oh gosh, probably 4 years.
Okay. What did you try before you came?
I went to 4 different allergy doctors, and I tried allergy shots. Well, first antihistamines, then allergy shots. And yes, the allergy shots did help, but you discovered that I was allergic to crude oil and heavy metal.
And were you, to your knowledge, were you exposed to crude oil and heavy metal?
No. Who would have known that would come up on one of the testings? So we did a treatment, and it was like night and day. When I was driving home after, it was almost immediate that I just felt so much better. And that was the crude oil and the heavy metal as well. Yeah. And nobody ever would have found that. I don't think there's an allergy test that, a skin test that they can do for that, or blood. And I had all those tests done, blood tests, skin tests, and nothing seemed to help until I did these treatments with you.
That's great.
I became allergic to everything. Mm-hmm. It just hit me. And I felt so horrible. And then we started doing the treatments, you and I, and it made a huge difference in my life.
That's great.
Changed my life.
If you hadn't have found me, what do you think you would have done?
Oh man, I don't know. It was not good. I just didn't feel well. They were just practicing on me to try to make me feel better, and it wasn't working.
What would you say to people that sort of have reached the place where you got to? What would you say to them about then maybe at the place where nothing has helped them?
I was desperate. And this is so easy. It's just, and you have a gift of healing. And I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. I would try it because it's well worth the experience.
Yeah, that's a very nice thing. Yeah. Thank you. Anything else that we hadn't covered?
I don't think so. Just that, I trust Jason so much, and he's become a good friend, and he's really helped me. Thank God I met him, and he helped me. He helped me. He changed my life. He saved my life.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, I love you, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Doing all these treatments and that we found all these things.
Yes, because I don't know what we would have done.
What would you say to somebody who's got a child that instead of maybe the skin pricks and things would?
Oh, I would definitely do this. Definitely. Because it's you get results right away. It's not difficult. There's no pain involved. It's not a scary thing. It's just very relaxing and comfortable.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
You bet.
If you have a similar story as Karen and you want to see if we can help you, book a call with me below.
Here's one of the TV interviews I did.
Welcome back, everyone. We are now joined with Jason Laird back in studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Steph. How are you?
I'm great. We love having you on. You always bring so many different little gadgets that a lot of us have never even seen before. And, it's starting to warm up outside. Spring's around the corner. And so it's only right we talk about allergy testing.
Yes. So I got this machine, 11 years ago or so. And I've seen miracles with this.
Wow.
And it first started with a lady who came in, and she was just ill for 4 or 5 years. She'd gone to every doctor, she'd had every test, and she just wasn't getting better. She even went to the Mayo Clinic, And they said, we just don't know how to help you. She was 1,000 points out of balance for crude oil, of all things. So we tested her, treated her for that, and I mean, it was a miraculous difference.
Now, this is testing my allergies, because, you know, typically when you think of allergy tests, you think of like getting 20 shots on your arm to see what flares up and what doesn't, but there's no shots in this. I'm just kind of like, have my hand on this little machine and then something wrapped around my arm.
Right, so there's a place for the traditional allergy testing, the prick test, but the people that I help the most are the people who've gone through all that. In fact, I had a lady came in from the Mayo Clinic last week, and it turns out that she had bacteria that was 2,300 points out of balance. This is the new way of doing it. It's digital allergy testing.
Less painful?
Less painful. I even do it on babies. There was a little baby who, every time she would breastfeed, she'd throw up.
Oh, wow.
And so I treated her. It was actually a protein in the mother's milk that I just, because most allergies, from the way I look at it, are just your body makes a mistake. So there was a gentleman who had an eye surgery, and he was in his 80s, and he just wasn't healing. And he came in and we tested this, and he had an imbalance for surgical stainless steel. Well, that's what they cut his eye with.
Wow.
So we rebalanced that because there was some trauma there, and within a few days he was healed. So I've seen so many miraculous things with this. I have about 85,000 different things, and the reason this is so powerful is that I can test and treat down to the molecular level of the substance, and then also the molecular and organ level of your body, so it helps to rebalance that. It's absolutely fantastic. But every month I only take a few patients because we really only focus on the people who they just have not gotten any relief anywhere else.
And this is kind of like they're just tried everything.
It is. The test we're doing right now is all of your major organ systems.
Okay.
And so it's going to give all of the, the detox system, the gastrointestinal system, the hormonal system. Even people who have knee surgeries and then they don't heal because of the metal allergies. There's like I said, 85,000 different things I can test for. So if somebody's gone to the doctor and autoimmune diseases are huge, and so I can test, and we've found amazing things and are able to help people without drugs, without surgery, without losing their whole life, and people who are just tired all the time. There's all kinds of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyone out there, if you are having an issue and you just don't know what is the root of it, and you've had the allergy test, you've had all these tests, and no one knows, this might be the type of thing you need to get done.
It is, and really once a month I open up about 2 days, 48 hours, where people can make an appointment and get a talk with us for free, just to see if we can help them. And if we can't, then I'll kind of I'll help them get some direction. Otherwise, we'll schedule an initial appointment and things like that, and see if we can help them.
If you have a health or some kind of problem that nobody has been able to help you with, book a call with me below. Here's Shauna, one of our recent Chronic Demonic program graduates.
Okay, Shauna. Would you tell me what your name is, please?
Shauna Smith.
And tell me what you came to me for.
I came because I had been to quite a few doctors trying to figure out what had been wrong for multiple years, probably close to 4 years, that was progressively getting worse. I had been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease from top doctors in the world. And upon coming back from that diagnosis, they had no real specific treatment plan. Basically gave myself and my local doctor a list of things to try. And so my doctor and I started to create somewhat of a treatment plan, since there, like I said, isn't any specific laid out treatment plan. And my doctor recommended you. And so here I am after that. When I got here, I just remember, I don't think I'll ever forget how bad I felt. But
How long ago was that, by the way?
about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And I just remember saying to you, along with other people, that I want my life back. My life's been hijacked and I want it back. And I guess that the downward slide of what I'd been through had just started to escalate to a point of where I had no quality of life. In fact, as I look back, I hadn't had quality of life for quite a while, but it had definitely gotten worse. For quite a while, I was able to maintain, I don't know if it's quality of life, but I maintained a lifestyle of where I worked, and that was basically it. After I worked all day, worked in a pretty rigorous position, and certainly not a 40-hour-a-week job, I had nothing left. I'd come home at night and I'd be dead and couldn't do anything. Most nights I couldn't even cook dinner or even exercise. Used to be an avid runner and a very active person. Couldn't do any of that. Spent my entire weekends in bed just trying to get ready to recuperate so that I could go back to work. And eventually got to where I couldn't even do that. And like I said, that's not quality of life. And my birthday's just around the corner and I'm just too young. I can remember at one point thinking to myself as I was in bed and literally fell asleep trying to text my boss and my coworkers that I could not come in because I physically was not able to get out of my bed. And I remember waking up with my half-written message and my cell phone in my hand and thinking, this cannot be what the rest of my life is going to be like. I have to have something different. I'm too young. I just can't do it. So
when you came in, you came to me through your doctor. So when you got the diagnosis at that other clinic, and they basically didn't have any answers for you other than a list, right? You said, and then so your doctor recommended me. You scheduled an acupuncture appointment, and then when we discussed it, it was much deeper than just acupuncture.
Correct.
What have you thought about this program over the last 2 months? What have you, like, your honest opinion of what you felt and what's happened?
Well, honestly, like I said, I have my life back. So, yeah, as far as the program, I mean, I was completely open-minded to anything and everything. I had no idea really about the entire program. Like I said, I thought I was coming for acupuncture. I'd scheduled an acupuncture appointment. I came in, you asked what I was here for. I told you, I think 2 hours later, and a whole bunch of Kleenex and tears. You're like, well, this isn't really acupuncture that we're doing right here. But I believe I can help. But yeah, as far as the program, I was completely open, completely surprised, and internally grateful.
I hope after watching that you have a renewed sense of hope.
I've seen over 10,000 patients, and if you want me to help you finally get real health again over the next few weeks, and by the way, people that I can help usually see results in as soon as 1 to 3 days. So book a call with me below.
This is not for people looking for Band-Aids, uncommitted people just starting out your search, people with diagnosed diseases like lupus or things like that medication is helping with, and definitely not for narcissistic or people with borderline personality disorder. So how do we work together? My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally about how we can help when nobody else could.
Because we're a relatively small clinic and we work so closely with our clients, spots are very limited. This isn't fake scarcity. I do all the sessions myself and only work with a handful of people at any given moment. If you're seeing this right now, that means we have at least one spot available.
First, pick a time. Second, complete the short intake form. And third, show up to the call. So go to lightningtolife.com/apply or click below this video. And if we're the right fit, like I said in the video, if I can help you, I'm going to get you there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to talk to you soon.